is my dad worked in for Tees Brothers, Watkins, in management. My mum was a school teacher. I've got a brother who's 10 years older than me, and I've got a sister who's 3 years older than me. Then I went and did an arts degree in Sydney when I was about 20, and then I went and sort of went around the world and stuff, and I lived in England for a while, lived in Norway for a while, and then I came back to Australia when I was 40 years old, and I'm 47 now. I've been sort of mentally ill, like bipolar, since I was very, very young. And because of family sort of situations, like with a divorce and all that sort of business, you know, no one ever accepted the fact that I had sort of issues. So I would sort of go to school and things like that, and I had attention deficit disorder. I couldn't concentrate. So on one hand, I was able to pick things up really quickly, but on the other hand, I couldn't practice at things. I couldn't master things, and I always felt uncomfortable. I always felt paranoid, and this sort of followed through with me through high school, and you know, I eventually got expelled from Redeemer Lutheran College for smoking pot in grade 11. And then after that, you know, I totally brought sort of darkness upon my family. And I then went on a kind of weird road where I started taking more drugs and sort of getting involved in music and stuff. And then I sort of ended up in Sydney, and I got talked into kind of doing a degree at the Sydney College of the Arts. And the same thing kind of happened there, where I was having sort of mental issues, but I wasn't getting any kind of diagnosis. I wasn't getting any sort of help from doctors. If I ever went to a doctor or anything, they would just sort of, you know, say it was bad nerves and prescribed, you know, Valium. And so then eventually I ended up in England, and it was just sort of drugs. And then I eventually got diagnosed with bipolar when I was sort of in my early 30s. And then that sort of went on to a later diagnosis of schizophrenia. Anyway, I ended up with a psychiatrist. I was in and out of mental hospital at Princess Alexandra, and the psychiatrist said to me, "Listen, you're bright, why don't you try this Clemente thing out?" Before I came to Clemente, I wasn't even prepared to walk out the door. I was just at home taking all the psychotropic medications, and I was too scared to even get on a bus and be around people. And the thing about Clemente is that in the last 2.5 years, I've been able to get out of the house, I've been able to catch buses, I've been able to be around people who I felt comfortable being around and not feeling as though there's a paranoid agenda. And, you know, that has been a blessing. I'm hoping at some point that I can move into the country, because I just feel as though I'm 47 years old, and I would like to just sort of go out into the country and sort of, you know, get more sort of, you know, away from large groups of people. I think that it's really important what Clemente are doing, and if you've got any sorts of worries, you know, everyone, honestly, everyone understands whatever you might be thinking. And, you know, for me, I don't use computers, I don't use telephones, I don't even talk on telephones. And they, for the 2.5 years, all the lecturers, all the, you know, the people have been able to work around that, you know, like communicating to me through the post and things like that. And so anyone who's in a situation where their mind isn't quite firing right, Clemente's great, because, you know, your mind can still be precious, you know. Thank you to everyone at Clemente. The last 2.5 years has been amazing. When I first got involved with it, I was so paranoid, I couldn't even go out the door. I couldn't catch a bus. I was convinced that I was being pursued by people, and coming here for 2.5 years and all the support I've had and all the great people I've met has just really been a major thing in my life, and I can't thank you enough. Thank you.